For each of the following, form a conclusion that follows logically from the given statements. We're going to complete parts A through C. So for A, it says, some laws are fair. All fair laws should be enforced. So we're going to begin by making a Euler diagram for the first premise. And you can see here that the following diagram represents the premise, some laws are fair. So here we go. Here in the outside circle we have laws, and the inside we have the fair laws. Now, the region inside the smaller circle represents the fair laws, and the region inside the larger circle represents all laws. So here, if we take a look, we can say the following. The second premise is all fair laws should be enforced. Now, the third circle representing the laws that should be enforced must be drawn on top of the Euler diagram for the first premise. Therefore, the following diagram then represents that some laws are fair and all fair laws should be enforced. So recall that the argument is valid if and only if every possible diagram illustrates the argument's conclusion. Thus, the Euler diagram shows that the conclusion that makes the argument valid is some laws should be enforced. Thus, the completion of the syllogism so that it is valid and the conclusion is true is shown below. Therefore, we would say that some laws should be enforced. Next, for part B, if I work on this project, I will get a good grade. If I get a good grade, then I will graduate from college. If I graduate from college, then I will look for a job. Now, the chain rule says if P then Q, and if Q then R are true, then if P then R is true. Now, symbolically, this is P implies Q and Q implies R. Therefore, that implies P implies R. Now, note that the chain rule can be applied to any number of statements. So we're going to use the chain rule to state a valid conclusion. If I work on this project, then I will look for a job. For part C, every circle is an ellipse. There exist circles that are conic sections. Okay, we're going to begin by making a Euro diagram for the first premise. So you can see here the following diagram represents the premise. Every circle is an ellipse. So the outside is the circle, inside we have a circle that represents the ellipse. Now the second premise is there exists circles that are conic sections. So that means that a third circle representing conic sections and the fact that some conic sections are circles must be drawn on top of the Euler diagram for the first premise. So the following diagram represents the premise. There exist circles that are conic sections. So using the Euler diagram to select the conclusion that makes the argument valid, we would say that there are some ellipses that are conic sections.